What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brennan. I'm BManX45, and today we're coming at you with another video. We have another in our How to Build series. I wanted to do a couple more videos of these before EX8 drops next week. We're probably gonna do one more. I think we're gonna maybe do Renamon with the new Dynamon cards coming out in EX8. But we are looking today at Sakuyamon. Sakuyamon X-Antibody is coming out in EX8, and I'm super excited for this deck. The deck's actually going to change a lot from EX8 over to 2.5 because we're going to get the Taomon Loop, and that potentially is game changing, and we could see it's a way different deck. It's a way different deck. So we're talking about Sakuyamon X-Antibody specifically. What the cards I think are going to get played in this deck, which I think this deck has a really good aggro. Just really good speed and aggression. I think you can actually OTK with this deck, but you have to wait and see what happens here. But we'll go through and we'll look at the different cards and what we think was the best way to build this deck. And if you enjoy the How to Build series, please remember to leave comments down below. And hey, if you enjoyed this type of content in general, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of fun. All right, without further ado, let's get into it here. We'll start with the Viximons. There's two Viximons in the game right now. You have the BT2 one, inherited effect when you use an option card, draw one, so draw engine, and when you once end of your turn, once per turn, return one option card with plug-in its name from the trash to your hand. So both are good. One gets you the draws. This one's nice because it gets you plugins back to the hand from your trash. I feel like this one is going to be the better one overall, but once you get a deck that starts going. But I think, to start out with, because we won't have that right away, we're going to be playing, obviously, this Viximon to begin with, the EX2 one, and then we might move to the BT19 one later on. Going into cards like the Renamons, there's the Renamon, the blue-yellow Renamon, which two of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less can't attack. That's all right on play. And then inheritable when you use an option card with cost 2 or more, gain memory. The inheritable makes this one nice, and because it does work in the line because of the Digivolution, the Digivolves from Viximon for 0. But there are some better Renamons, and so there is the BT10 Renamon, which is on play, reveal top 4, add 1 plug-in and 1 yellow Tamer. It has also the inheritable of minus 2,000 when you play an option card of cost 2 or more. So minus DP. I'm not sure we're going to have the room for this one. It is really good, but it doesn't add you a Taomon piece. Whereas if we go over to the EX2 one, it reveals top 4, adds you Kyubimon, Taomon or Sakuyamon, and a Rika to your hand. So that's a lot better. And then it has gain memory off using option cards, which is also really good. We are definitely playing 4 copies of the Renamon X-Antibody, which is going to be the new one that we're getting, which is on play when digital, you return 1 option card plug-in from your trash to your hand. And then once per turn, when you use an option card 2 or more, minus 2,000. So this is the card that's going to be good for getting you back those pieces. So we're going to be playing that definitely. There's also, of course, the BT17, which is reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Kyubimon, Taomon its name, and 1 Rika or 1 option card. So this one is, the BT17 one is a better variant, and we're getting an alt art in the legend pack of this, so it's really cool. So I think this is replacing the BT10 one because it goes the extra mile. Yeah, you won't reveal top 4, but you do have the option now of either adding a Rika or an option card, so you don't go minus if you reveal your option card. So you have that option there. Of course, this lets you do a yellow Tamer, but the only Tamers we're playing are Rika, so this is going to be the one that, definitely probably. So looking probably this, EX2 and EX8, but we also got the BT19 one, which start your main gains of memory if you have a Rika, and then has the same inheritable to minus 2,000 DP when you use one of your plug-in options. I don't see this one getting played. It just doesn't have enough value. I mean, yeah, it's nice getting memory, but generally you might have already Digivolved to X-Antibody at that point. So it's just debatable. Then we go into the Kyubimons. We got the Kyubimon from BT10 that allows you to return an option card, either return an option card or trashing to draw 2. I think this is probably a decent contender, but potentially you might not. But it doesn't have an inheritable, so that's always why it was kind of like, no, I'm not sure about that. You do have the BT17 if you don't have Rika, play a Rika Kyubimon. And then it has the when one of your option cards is played, gets minus security attack 120 your opponent's Digimon. That's till the end of their turn. That's pretty good. Not sure if this one's going to get played. Like, it's going to get played probably right now because we don't have it. But in BT19, we're getting the new, if you have one or fewer, you can play a Rika. So unless you play up to 2, which is the better version. So I think that probably replaces the BT17 one. You also have the Kyubimon from EX2, which is reveal top 3, add 1 option card among them to your hand, put the rest on the bottom of the deck, and then that minus 2,000 inheritable when you use an option card. I'm not sure yet if this is going to be the one either. I'd say either one. Like, this is good. This gets you a plugin from your trash. This searches you a plugin from your deck. I could see, maybe you play like a couple copies of this, couple copies of that. I think this one's definitely better because you have other ways of getting those plugins back from your hand now. You have the Renamon X-Antibody, which is going to be a better way since it's a free cost Digivolution and has an inheritable. So I feel like this is probably the way forward. You also have the Yukomon, which is treated as a Kyubimon. Oh, maybe no. You know what? It's not actually. I don't believe it is. But it Digivolves from a Renamon, and it has the on play when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn. One of your Digimon gains blocker. Rule, it is also treated as Kyubimon. I didn't see that there, but I was looking in the picture. And then, it doesn't really do anything. I don't think that this is necessarily the way to go. So I think definitely the pure Kyubimon is probably better. Probably looking at, 4 copies of the EX, 4 copies of the BT17 until we get the BT19, and then maybe you could splash a couple copies of this in, or a couple copies of the BT10, depending on how many you want to run. If you want to run 10, if you think you only need 8, you got to be careful with your ratio. Sorry guys, a little bit tired this morning. We have the Domon, which is treated as Taomon. I love how it doesn't show it on the card. But, oh no, there it is. It's in this, the name of this card is treated as Taomon. I'm just not used to it because it's always in the black now, right underneath the card there. Okay, so return one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less to the hand. And then the minus, so I don't think Taomon's going to see play. You have the Taomon from BT10 that lets you play an option card with plugin without meeting the color requirements or the memory cost. That's a decent one. Again, no inheritables, which is one of the things I hate about it. Then you have the BT17 that has barrier. You may use 1 option card with plugin, cost reduced by 2. So basically lets you use most of your option cards for free. It's the same thing, so it kind of replaces itself, but it does have the when attacking. If this Digimon has Sakuyamon name, you may use an option card that has plugin. So basically the same thing. So I'd say that this guy would see play over the BT10 version. Of course, we have the Taomon, which is Ace is going to create the Taomon Loop, which is we're not going to get right away, so we're not going to have it for EX8. But when Digivolving, if it's your turn, you may use a single color option card with the cost of 5 or less from your hand without paying the cost. If it's your opponent's turn, one of their Digimon gains security attack -1, so that's always good. And can't activate when Digivolving effects. Ugh, so gross. With Ace 3, it's a good one. So good. Just make their guy bad. So Taomon Ace, super good. On play when Digivolving. So good. And it does have, I think it has an inheritable. I wish I could like read the inheritable. But I believe it does. I'd have to like see what because they're not splitting it up. They don't ever split it up. I think that's I think it's the second part. When if it's your opponent's turn, gain security attack +1 and can't activate when digital effects. But I could be wrong. And then we have the Taomon from EX2, which lets you play Eureka without paying its memory costs, and then has the minus 2000 DP. I think this is still a likely candidate right now between that guy and the BT17, and then potentially working some of the Ace in. Although that is definitely the Taomon Loop card, which is also why we're not going to be running Kazuhamon, because that's the Taomon Loop card. When Digivolve, you may use an option card with the cost of 5 or less from your hand. When you use an option card, your turn once per turn, you may play a Taomon or a level 4 lower blue Digimon card from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. And this is also treated as Sakuyamon. We have the Sakuyamon from BT17, which has Barrier. When Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6000 DP for the turn. You may use an option card plug in its name or one yellow option card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand without paying the cost. Your turn once per turn. When you use an option card with the cost of 2 more, this Digimon can't be returned to the hand or deck by opponent's effects until the end of their turn. So that's really good. So probably this is, with the X-Antibody, this is the one I'm thinking we're going to be playing, just because it has protection. You got the BT9 one, which is when Digivolving draw 2, then you may use a single color option card. So you draw 3 because you draw for Digivolution. So you draw 3, so hopefully you draw into your basically your plugins if you don't have any. Then you may use a single color option card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand without paying the cost. Your turn once per turn. When you use an option card with the cost of 2 or more, play 1 Pipe Fox token, which is yellow. Is a yellow Digimon 6000 DP with blocker, and can Digivolve from Maid Mode for a cost of 1. So that's cool. We have the Sakuyamon from EX2, which is unsuspends, and for each Tamer you have in play, return 1 option from your trash to your hand, which is still potentially good. When you use your option card with a cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. So it does a lot more DP reduction, but I think this is probably the one because we're going to be focusing on X-Antibody, getting into X-Antibody, and this one's the one that has the kind of the powerful protection right now, and so that's really good. Where we might focus on this one when it comes out in 2.5 a little bit more, just because it does have that massive amount of draw. But the new one, the X-Antibody, is the Digivolves for a cost of 1 from Sakuyamon. When Digivolving of Sakuyamon, X-Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Play 1, or X-Antibody, I mean, play 1 Uka no Mitami, token, yellow 9000 DP with Rush. And then once per turn, when one of your Digimon attacks, you may use a single color option card with the cost of 5 or less from your hand without paying the cost. If you did, one of your Digimon unsuspends. That's really awesome. So you get multiple attacks with your tokens. And you can leave this basically up. Yeah. And then Maid Mode, of course. Maid Mode's always been good for going back and forth between Sakuyamon for cheap. It's always been really good. When digital, you may use 1 option card, or that's yellow and has a memory cost 5 or less. Place the option card used with this effect on top of your security stack face down instead of placing it in your trash. And then when attacking, you may Digivolve this Digimon into a Sakuyamon in your hand for a memory of 1, ignoring its Digivolution requirements. So that's all right too, but we're probably going to be playing most likely the new Maid Mode Ace, which you can blast Digivolution. You may place 1 yellow Tamer card or single color option card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand on top of your security stack. All turns once per turn when an option card is used. When a card is added to security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6,000 DP for the turn, which is good. And it can Digivolve from a Sakuyamon for cost 1. So you can blast into that, potentially screw up your opponent's play, and then put something like a Tamer you want to get played on top of your security stack, so it gets hit by an attack and plays itself. So this is probably something we're going to see a couple copies of in the deck, just because Ace is so good, and we don't have anything until we get the Taomon in 2.5. So I'm thinking like probably like max out on this, couple copies of that, couple copies of that, to get the deck running. And then we have, of course, we have our Rikas here. I'm definitely saying that you're still going to be playing the Memory Tamer Rika, the EX2 one. We don't have the BT19 one yet. And when you attack, you may suspend it to play an option card from your hand without paying the memory cost. So it lets you use those cost cards for free as well. Probably a couple copies of this. We also got the Rika that gains you a memory at the start of the turn if your opponent has a memory. And then by placing this Tamer and one Kyubimon and one Taomon from your trash, one of your Renamon may Digivolve into Sakuyamon for a cost of 4. Ignoring Digivolve requirements, you can warp Digivolve. If the Digivolve by this effect, you may return one option card from your trash to your hand. So you probably play a couple of that for the late game rush option. And then the new one is going to reveal top 3 and be a searcher for you, and for a plugin and a Sakuyamon piece. And then your turn when you use an option card with cost 2 more by suspending the Tamer gain a memory. So this is probably going to be the more likely one to play come BT19, but until then you're probably going to max out on these and play at least like 2 to 3 copies of this one, just because you want to see that stuff. And of course we have the plugins here. You're going to play offensive plugin that gives you security attack +1. You're going to play at least a couple copies of this and a couple copies of this. That gives you jamming. The interesting thing is we're probably not playing any defense plugin C. It's just not good. We're not playing any reinforcement plugin 0. Again, they're not good cards. We can just take those right out. The other cards that are going to be is the pause plugin is going to be the one. This is the 5 cost one, and it's a yellow. Recharge plugin, it's not really that good either. So the real thing is, are we just going to max out on the pause plugins, or are we going to play some of the Digivolution plugins? Digital plugin is nice because it digivolves your 3 cost Digivolutions for 2. So it allows you, for any of your 3 cost Digivolutions, allows you to do it for 2. And you're playing an option card, so you're activating those inheritables, so you're potentially gaining memory. And just the fact that it reveals the top 3 cards off security and adds 1 Digimon card among them to your hand, so that's really good too. And then it adds itself to the hand, so I do like Digivolution plugin. I'd like to find some room for it, but pause plugin is also really good, because until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6,000, and this that Digimon's when Digivolving effects don't activate. So really, really good. And the minus 6,000 is really nice because then you don't need things like EX2 Sakuyamon. And I believe it has the same pretty much security effect as minus 6,000 DP, and then add this card to the hand. So pause plugin, you definitely want to max out. It's your offensive stretch. It's going to be the thing that's going to be really good against you. Just the fact, and then you can like put it on top of the security stack when your opponent attacks. So then that's like minus 12,000, and then add it to the hand. So really, really good. So definitely maxing out on these. Definitely playing at least 2 copies of these guys, and then potentially some copies of these. But space is gonna be tight just because we got so much stuff. Like there's not a lot of room for extra stuff in this deck because you need a solid Tamer lineup, you need a solid option card plug-in lineup, and you need full lineups of all your Digimon, which are going to be like 12 rookies, 8 to 10 of these, 8 level 5s, and then at least 8 level 6s. But there's a lot of things you could potentially add. You could have like a Rune mode in there. You might be able to put some scrambles in there. They're a 2 cost option card. It doesn't always specify plug-in on some of the things, and some of them just specify or yellow, so you have a lot of kind of creativity in there. But that's going to be the basic build of our Sakuyamon deck. These are the cards we're definitely looking at. And with the whole thing with this, just being able to, put those tokens out there, attack, unsuspend, gives you the ability just to put a lot of damage in. And I got some cool tokens coming in the mail for the Sakuyamon deck, so I'm really excited to be able to show you guys those when we do the deck profile after EX8 drops. So tell me what you guys think about this video. Thank you for joining us for the how to build as always. Looks like that's all the time for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. We hope to see you in the next video. As always, have a wonderful day, and that's all for now, folks.